I was raised Catholic.
Yeah.
So I was brought up understanding that Jesus Christ was the Son of God. And my question for the Catholics, as I grew up and began to wonder, and then as I got older, in my 20s, or late teens or 20s, I went to, you know, the supposedly the most intelligent group of Catholics called the Jesuits, and would ask them these questions. I said, well, and my question was, and you know, even now, I've never turned my back on Christ. I think Christ as a bodhisattva, I would love to see him and spend time with them. So it's not like I have trouble with Christians when they want to make me like them, and you know, they want to say, you know, you're not saved and all that kind of stuff. I find that very embarrassing, painful. But back then, what I wanted to know was, if Christ is the Son of God and he walked the earth, isn't the very best part of me like the worst part of him? Aren't we somehow connected? Aren't we isn't there some part of him that I can live up to, that I'm part of? And the Jesuits were absolutely, later I've had you know, priests and stuff deny this, but at the time there was no denial, no connection between Christ and man. Christ was the Son of God, period. He's not like you and I. And there's no way he's ever going to be like, you're not going to become Christ. But with Buddha, you're going to become a Buddha, ultimately. So I found that very, and I put it to them every which way I could, because I wanted them to say, yeah, like the worst part of Christ is like the best part of you. And somehow you're connected. You know, he's part of you, you're part of him. No. Now they kind of are backpedaling on that. But that's what I said. So I said, okay, thank you very much, but I can't use it, because I don't believe that I'm not part of everything. You know, important. And Christ is like super important, and then there's God and the Holy Ghost and stuff like that. So in Buddhism, it's not like that. It's non-theistic, which means that there's no overriding God that we are not sharing. That there's not, with Buddhism, there's a continuum between you and an enlightened Buddha or something. That Buddha nature is in you as much as it's in Buddha. It's in a dog and a snail and a microbe. Everything has Buddha nature. So it's the only difference is the degree of awareness. You're not aware that you're a Buddha, and you can. And the Buddhists, and this is another one of your questions. The Buddhists do not believe in first cause. There's no Big Bang. There's no first thing. It's endless. Life always was there and always will be there. The mind is endless and has no beginning and end, like a circle has no beginning and end. There's no part of a circle that you can say, well, here's where it began. Well, how's that different than down here? Well, there's no real difference. It's all one thing. And that if you want to polish your lenses or your awareness, you can gradually remove, and nor do the Buddhists, they're not Platonic in the sense that they don't believe that you once knew and then you've fallen away from it and you have to get it back. Nope. They say you never knew. You're beginning to know to the degree that you can, by practicing, remove your obscurations, become clearer and clearer and clearer, or more aware and more aware. And the word Buddha just simply means awareness. So the Buddha, what unique about him was his awareness. And that we can have that too, but we have to go and put in the work to do it. We'd have to go and remove our obscurations, you know, like polish off our glasses, remove all the dirt so we could actually see through them. So that's the difference between Buddhists and Christians. The Christians definitely defer to God, and there's an absolute separation of power. And in Buddhists, there's no separation of power. There's a long, maybe painful continuum, but you have Buddha nature just as Buddha did. And I like that idea. You know, it seems to me, first of all, it just makes sense. I believe it's the truth. And I never could get into the idea that there was like a big drop-off, and here's God, and here's you. You're never going to get that. You might get the blessing. You might go to heaven, whatever that is. Anyway, it just didn't add up. It didn't make sense to me. And so that ultimately, I I turned away from it just because, like, no sense. You know, like the poet Hopkins says, "Suck any sense from that who can." Right? I couldn't get any sense out of it, so I give it up. You know, I still believe that, as I said, Jesus is like a bodhisattva, great being, and it'd be great to walk with him and know him.